this up a little bit. Oh, much cleavage today. Let's maybe lift the camera a little bit. I'm going to post this to the community tab so everyone knows where to find us this week. A few people couldn't find us last. Oh, I need to plug out. Sorry if I'm banging the camera around a little bit. Just bear with me. Okay, posted. And then let's go back. All right. Hey, Bella. Thank you. Oh, throwing cards down already. I'm trying to get myself together. I'm actually early today. Trying to make up for all the Mercury retrograde weeks when I was late, and I'm ruining my clothes in this at the same time. I'm just trying to give you not too much breast today. That's all. It is what it is. The body is the body. Hey, Corinne. Just giving people a chance to come into the room. Since I started the live a little bit early, I shall also shuffle a few decks that we may or may not use. I really don't know what we're going to use today. How are you doing, Bella and Corinne? I was listening to James Blake before we started, so that's a little bit on my mind. Also had somewhat of a long day. I'm hardcore hermiting at the moment. You're good? I'm hermiting, or at least trying. I'm definitely not getting enough rest. I've been resting, so I'm increasing or improving, but I'm needing probably 10 times the amount I'm currently getting. But after Sunday, I should be able to slow things down a bit and keep myself at a much slower pace for the next 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully. So I'm kind of looking forward to that because I need to rest. I need to integrate. I need to kind of be with spirit. It was really good not to do Soulmate Saturday this weekend. I'm kind of just rest and pray and listen and all that jazz. Sirens going by. Windows open because I am burning a whole lot of incense right now. Hey, Jane. Also, Jane, I need to email you. Everything is completed for the record, has been for a couple of days. I just need to do divination and email you. But I've been tired, so I haven't done it yet, but I will. Hey, The Tender Life. I love that name. Let me put on my glasses while I'm reading comments in the beginning. Oh, they're really blurry. I need to clean my glasses. Hey, Raquel. Hey, Ananice. Hey, Jazz. I love that I was here first, everyone. I was on time / early this week because Mercury is direct and your girl's got her sense of timing back. Hey, Remy. We have quite a message in front of us. Quite a message. Hey, Taz. Why are they holding your message for review. Hey, Alicia. My clothes are just really hitch up today. I'm just proper hitch up, man. Whatever. Oh, happy birthday, niece. Yes, Taz, on time. Oh, what's the I don't know. Yours looks different. Oh yeah, the dolphins. How I don't know, and I'm the one that put it up. But yeah, so we have lions, orcas, and dolphins. So Stella's got the dolphin symbol as well. It's actually a mama dolphin and a baby dolphin. Okay, a couple of announcements still while we're waiting for people to come through. Obviously, on Saturday, I will do our first tarot clinic live reading. So it will be live, but in a private community space like this. I will be taking your personal tarot questions. So if you want to know stuff that's going on in your personal life, normally I don't do that, but that's dedicated space to me to kind of answer and see what's happening with you all. We'll be doing that. I will take general spirituality questions, but I won't, for the most part, I prefer if you gave them to me beforehand so that I can have a think on them or get the information if I need to. But we'll see, we'll flow, right? So there's that. The other announcement is that on the last week of the month, so the last tarot therapy of the month, we're going to change the format a little bit where we're going to use it as a kind of debrief, review, conversational space, kind of looking back at the month and looking back at the previous messages. I feel like we get an hour and a half every week, and it's like a lot of energy and like so much information and instruction coming through. Hey Rose, hey Zafia, so much information and instruction coming through. And if the messages are constantly coming at us, then when is the time that we get to fully integrate and kind of live that out? So every last week of the month, we will come together and we'll talk and kind of reflect on like the messages. We'll recap. You can put in the comments and talk to us about what you've been experiencing, how those messages have been playing out. We might look a little bit at the astrology of the month, what's been happening, but it's going to be more of a kind of family meeting, kind of community debrief, let's talk. How are you feeling about the messages? Sometimes some messages take more time to integrate, again, so just reviewing, and that's going to be good for all of us. And typically I bleed. I'm not ashamed of that. So typically that would be near my bleeding time, and so I need to do less around that time anyway. So there we go. All right, so I think most of you are at least starting to come in now. Hey, Aisha. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Somalia. Welcome to everybody who's newly joined. Let's get started. So our topic for the week is Shadow High Priestess and spiritual abuses. The message is a lot. Currently holding green calcite. I love a green crystal, and the selenite wand, but I have a whole array of crystals at my disposal, a new amethyst as well. So let's start with the cards. We have High Priestess and the Ace of Wands to begin with. Okay. I have actually already prayed, but I feel like we need a minute, we need some energy opening. We need to meditate. Okay, so deep breaths, everybody. Center yourselves. Okay, that's better. I even feel like that kind of block at the gateway is very reflective of the current energy with this High Priestess here. Really, with the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands and the specific message we have today, this is spiritual interference. It feels like battles and conflicts at the gateway, dimensional gateway slash the gateway of receiving wisdom, communication, and insight. There's definitely resistance to revealing something right now. I'm actually going to start. I'm going to return to newsletters. You know, I haven't sent newsletters in ages because I hate emails. But I was kind of praying about it this morning. I'm going to resume newsletters. And an aspect of the newsletter is going to be a shadow briefing where I'm going to be talking about kind of this regular check-in around, let's say, the wayward energy or spiritual disruption or dissipating negativity, let's say. And so there is, even here and now, very present, I'll keep saying, waywardness that wants to stay concealed, but I do have to reveal it to some extent whilst maintaining your safety. So this is what I will say. The message that came through that is wanting to be suppressed, and let me just get some guidance on that. Chariot, we've got to push through. Yeah, because the ancestors literally want to communicate, and there is disruption in the doorway that I have to push through. I can really feel it, energetic interference. Let's get some obsidian. So if I seem a little scattered today, that's the reason. High Priestess and Ace of Wands is really coming through as the, let's say, the flip side of what it would look like to be High Priestess, or the way that I or others might use the High Priestess energy, which is for illumination and which is to bring him through, let's say, the purpose, the wisdom, the vision of divine spirit as it should be materialized on earth. And I feel like this combination of energies is talking about, it's funny, I was talking to Mel's about this a couple of days ago. It's like this energy is like using the same doorway or the same skill of divination, but for negative purposes. So this also speaks to our government systems and the kind of grids of power that we have in this society, and how they use esoteric knowledge and wisdom behind the scenes, whilst explicitly, let's say, and outwardly admonishing others for it, or diminishing the poignancy of the feminine principle means of exchange of knowledge. So again, prizing the intellect over the emotions, rubbishing divination, denying the existence of a spirit of any kind. Whilst they do that externally, privately, they do consult shadow priestess, right? They do consult gifted seers in order to, rather than bring illumination, in order to cast more shadow, which is to continue to operate and to leverage power. Hey, Miles, to leverage power in ways that they obscure, right? So that we can't fully see what's happening. So keep hiding the cards, or hiding that sleight of hand, is what it really is. And when this energy came up, I said to Spirit too, like, High Priestess versus High Priest, and the message was, or the Hierophant really, and the message was that the reason it is the High Priestess, it is the High Priestess archetype, right? So don't think about High Priestess and High Priest as gendered here. What it is that this is the shadow High Priestess, because the High Priestess sits in the secret space. The High Priest sits in the open space, right? Might be the Pope, for example, or a religious leader or a pastor. What they teach, what they share, for the most part, there is a front-facing aspect of what they say and do. That's not the power we're talking about here. The High Priestess moves in secret and in silence. And that is what's going on. It's the use of the esoteric arts for hidden purpose here. That's what's going on at a higher level. Because the next part of our message is a little divergent from that. So I want to ask Spirit, why was that the presiding message? Like, why does that shape the rest of what is going to be said? Okay. Because it affects us on a personal level, obviously. Oh, look, High Priestess is literally back. Okay, so I understand. So the reason that the practical application of that information, right, of saying to you that's what's happening, is that with the Nine of Pentacles, it affects your plans, your timeline, your life cycle. It affects what you are up to. And how it's affecting it is that there are, look, you see like kind of the smoke and mirrors element of this card, Seven of Swords. It's about blocks that you may be coming up against or obstacles that are not. The Seven of Swords speaks to things that are hidden, right? So they're not, it's hidden enemies, or it's not in plain sight. It's unexpected sabotage here. And look at the perfect illustration of the energy I said I felt when I pulled these cards this morning. Actually, it was as clear as day. Now that I've come to speak about it, I feel all of this like resistant energy. Seven of Wands and High Priestess. What did I talk about? What's in the doorway of divination, or what's at the kind of dimensional threshold, right? Between levels. The High Priestess is who opens and looks through and receives and has that open channel. But what is going on at that higher level is attempting to block or distort what comes through. And that's what we need to be aware of. What is going on at the higher level that is seeking to disrupt and sabotage? Now, this is why the message about protection has been coming through a lot. Make sure you're maintaining your spiritual hygiene and following any intuitive prompts you have around how to specifically protect yourself. That could be any number of things. It could be covering your head, it could be wearing a certain color, it could be not going a certain place, it could be refraining from certain foods, it could be like, it is literally from your spiritual guidance team. It needs to give you those very specifics as it relates to you and your life circumstances. But that's why it's necessary. And again, I was saying to Mel's about, I'm looking, I don't have a circle here, but I'll do one with my hands. If we think about a circle of protection that we might exist within, or that we have put up around us by our spirit team here, the Chariot card, the Knight of Wands, I'm getting a headache too, and the High Priestess, so a lot of resistant energy. This is the protection that is available to us through our ancestors, but that protection has a perimeter. Okay, it has a boundary. It is not infinite, okay? And we need to know what the boundaries of our protection are. And then we need /is, and then we need to stay within that. Definitely a lot of exposure. So here's the next level of the message. We'll see if there's any more that needs to be said about what's going on at that level. But for you all, you are kind of falling in two different levels of mastery, okay? And I think Spirit wants to give messages for each camp. Let's start with the first group. Some of you are Chariot level, okay? This refers to being able to perceive, intuit, know, speak through the multidimensional heart, let's say, not heart as in, red hearts, but multi-dimensional aspect, heart self. Some of you are able to perceive your higher aspects of self and know what your guidance is. You can make a choice, a decision, and you can move in that direction because you are spiritually aligned enough to know what your guidance or what your movement should be. You have maintained Four of Swords, spirit connection here, okay? And that is at the astral and ancestral level, okay, but that also can be higher levels, higher dimensional levels, higher beings, different star seeds, star systems, let's say, but let's not get into all of that. But some of you have that window, that doorway open, and you maintain that spiritual connection, so that's what helps you not need to constantly check in, that you can move through you hold intuition, you hold information in the body, so you know how to move forward. And then with the Page of Swords, sometimes you check in for correction, instruction, adjustment, confirmation. But ultimately, your direction is synthesized. That's a good word, right? It's synthesized into your own body. So for the most part, you can sense and feel what is right or not right for you. So if you feel like you're in that camp, let us know in the comments. I'm going to come to the next camp in a second. Sending you love, Abby. Okay, so that was the first camp. The second camp, you need instruction. So you're not the Chariot. Second camp, you are Page of Swords. So you are more in a student position. You need instruction and you need to be given the message. You don't actually perceive, or your intuition is not developed enough for you to feel trust, and it's not synthesized within. So most of the time you need an external message that you then can feel as confirmation within. So you need direction, okay, that lets you say, this path is successful, this is a good path for you, this is a good path for me, this is a good path for me. Hey Candice. And you do have, okay, you got the same card, both camps got 4 of Swords here. So you do have spirit connection and your ancestors are around you and you do perceive it to some extent, but you need significant help interpreting, trusting, or taking action on. And you actually need spiritual mothering with the Empress energy here. Can I just say that as I described this, none of this is with judgment. This is actually about you understanding your level of mastery, so you know, 1, how to act accordingly, and 2, what you should and should not be getting yourself involved in, 3, how to ask and request the level of support you need, right? So you should be, just like I said for Saturday's class, you'll be assessing what is your level of need in this community with regards to receiving a personal reading. The same applies to what is your level of need within our tarot therapy community. Where do you sit? Are you mostly self-directed, intuitive with confirmation from time to time, or are you actually needing more instruction, direction, and spiritual mothering, spiritual nurturing? Okay, good. So knowing what camp you are in is very important. And there you are here, especially second group. This is kind of my role to you. Can you see the mother swan and the baby swans at the bottom? Okay, it's important for you to know and for me to know that there are people within this community with that level of need, not because I want you to give up your self-autonomy or become reliant on me, but so that we know what level of protection and instruction needs to be given. So let's just see, because Spirit wanted to delineate those 2 camps. So what do you want to say to each camp now that people know where they sit? Or should be at least thinking about where they sit? Yes. 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 Whew. Oh, yeah. Oh, I feel it, Spirit. Can I have something for me? You know, when I'm just giving out messages, I'm like, I want a message for myself. Technically, first group is me, but I also want me in my position of responsibility. Okay, that makes sense. I might share that with you. All right, so group 1. You are moving into group 1, you are moving into I'm confusing myself by reading comments. Sorry, I get distracted very easily. More self-directed, self-responsibility, autonomy. You are actually going to have more responsibility for turning the cycles of your life and reading the cycles of your life. One of the things, and this might be a good skill for you to cultivate or practice for you to use, one of the things that I've been doing recently is kind of charting my life by season, right? So different aspects of my life, okay? My career or my material resources, my money, let's say my love life, my spiritual life, my friendships, my family, right? All of those different aspects or dimensions of life. I've been looking at what season I think they are in. Okay, so am I in a autumn or summer or winter or spring season in my finances, in my friendships, in my intimate sexual partnerships, right? How would I say I sit in each of those seasons? Then once I've put, okay, this is the season I'm in, then I know what season is next, okay? So if I'm in a summer, in some aspect of my life, then I know that I get to enjoy this growth now, but I can expect by using the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, this to begin to start to dissipate or wane. If I'm in a winter season in some aspect of my life, okay, stripping, no growth, maybe feeling alone or stagnant, whatever that is, then I know that this is going to lead to some sort of rebirthing process or seeding or something new. And therefore, I need to think about, how do I make room? How do I weed, uproot, and clear to make room for the new in my life? So group one, you don't have to use this system, it's working for me, but you need to come up with your own systems for looking at the cycles that you are in, judging the energy and determining how you move accordingly. Right. You also have the Ace of Voices. So this is being more convicted by your truth. Okay. This is going to be amplification of spirit communication. What it is that because you have been able to synthesize your intuition quite well, you may start to get access to higher dimensional level messages or more complex spiritual information for yourself. I don't even mean via me or another teacher, I mean for yourself. You will start to hear that, and it will demand more of you, or you will have to take bigger leaps of faith or do more things independently. And here we have it, the Hermit. Now, this doesn't necessarily speak to going it alone in this context. The Hermit energy for you, group one, is actually about spiritual maturation and the enlightenment that comes through individuation and going and being independent. Okay, so that is the energy that is coming through at this time. Any questions about what I've just said, group one? Is that clear to you? So you've got more responsibility coming, group one, but that responsibility is for your spiritual growth and really taking more. You're not going to be able to be dependent, right? You're going to have to take more responsibility for your choices in your life. Let me take these off. More responsibility for your life decisions, your life choices, and your directions. This is also feeling like group one. It won't necessarily be again, it won't necessarily be two options and one is definitely good and one is clearly bad. Okay, it's not going to be like that. It could be you're presented with 6 options and 4 of them are pretty good, but you're used to the kind of like, definitely do this and definitely don't do that. But the training wheels are coming off and spirit's like, well, look, here's an array of things you choose. And you're going to be like, well, is this one going to work out okay? And, spirit's going to be like, I don't know, you choose. Do you know what I mean? What do you think? What do you want? No more kind of babying me. Oh, should I do it? Should I do it? You choose. Okay. Group 2, those of you who are needing more spiritual mothering, more direction, I'm assuming that most of you will be requesting kind of the personal mini readings on Saturday because that's the space that you're in and the service that you need. Let's get your cards. You're going to go through changes. You've got 5 of Swords and 10 of Emotions. This is a conflict that leads to your soul group. So it's like you all are babies in the wrong nursery. I mean, the fact that you're here means that to some extent you're in the right one, but you're associating with the wrong soul group and people who have divergent paths from yours, and you are going to find a lot of conflicts coming up and a lot of separating of ways. Group one, you are going to lose people. I have to just give it to you straight. Friendships, family, relationships, stuff is going to end, but it's all to align you with better, more fruitful, more reflective, more balanced connections, and connections that are mutually beneficial and that you grow and are nourished in and nourish others. If I give you this kind of Empress energy here and I talk about the swans down the bottom, the baby duckling swans, can't have pigeons in there. And you all know I can't stand pigeons. You couldn't have pigeons in the group. Okay. So, I mean, if you all are associated with pigeons, I have a whole phobia of pigeons and you just legit can't be. Like, you can't be under my nest. Okay. And again, I'm not even, when I say I'm being lighthearted here. Ultimately, it is spirit that you are being mothered by. Because listen, I'm going through hermit in all senses of the word because you all know how Virgo I am. So I'm basically disappearing for the most part. People will only really see me here. And I want less and less to do with social media for the summer because the streets are wild. I've got to protect that energy. All right, let me take a sip. Group 2, did you understand? Let's do group 2. All right. So let me give me a second because I did pull some cards for myself in my capacity here as kind of facilitating this space for you and as a teacher. This feels like the message for me is I get 2 kings. I like that. Okay. I got Muse of Materials and Muse of Emotions. Beautiful cards, both of them. The message really for me is that as I grow and develop in terms of my physical security, so my money, my material energy, where I live, as I get more secure, more grounded in that, 3 of Pentacles, I'll be more able to take on more responsibility with you all. So this is really, this energy in particular is for you that are baby swans. I don't really have the capacity to mother you at the moment because I'm having to walk this path. But once I'm through this particular chapter and tunnel, I will be able to take on more responsibility for that. The Muse of Emotions is also healthy emotional boundary in terms of facilitating that spiritual mothering energy. So again, you're not suckling at my breasts, even though I'm constantly got them on display. You're not suckling at my breasts infinitely. You know, it's not that mammy energy. I am again a conduit, or I'm letting spirit flow through me. I'm being used as an instrument of spirit. And for group 1, my role will be to hold community with you, right? To hold and amplify, and you will find that you feel maybe more collegial with me, maybe more collaboration, or definitely a more, I don't like the word equal, but I like to say a more horizontal relationship with me, which is created and made possible through that Muse of Emotions energy. But let us just get through the road, please. I'm tired. Okay. What have you been saying in the comments? We do definitely need to get serious. All right. So I've actually been, I still don't know who gifted me the After Tarot, but to whoever that was, thank you so much. And I have joined the After Tarot and the Before Tarot together. I'm really enjoying it. So I've got both 2 decks as one, and I'm using both of them. And I'm loving the way that's working. So if we use those cards, you might notice that some cards come out twice because I'm using 2 decks combined. All right. So the rest of this message then, this is opening guidance, of course, for those of you who are used to tarot therapy. This is just the messages that we get in the beginning, and then we, go further. Yo, yo, yo. This is for all of you, no matter what group you find yourself in. We have the Five of Cups, grief, sorrow, regret. And this relates specifically to the Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Now, this speaks to communities, friendships, relationships, but specifically spiritual communities for some of you that we have tried to be a part of. Okay, where we've tried to build, where we tried to get our needs met, where we've tried to grow, to be honest, and ending up wounded and completely regretting opening ourselves emotionally. And that's why we had that early energy of Shadow High Priestess and spiritual abuses, because actually many of you have already been abused in spiritual community. Now that could be in the context of traditional religion, and kind of structured, institutionalized religion or churches, for example. But for some of you, this has happened to you on your path to opening up spiritually and exploring other forms of other religions or other kind of spiritual forms of spiritual connection. That you have met with the Shadow Priestess, who actually has really was leveraging their wisdom to take power from you. And that power really was just coming from your deference and adoration, or looking up to them, right? There was definitely, you went into these situations with the idea that you knew nothing and they knew everything, or they at least knew a lot more than you. And you were very poorly treated. So for some of you, like I said, this is actual spiritual community. For others of you, this speaks to other groups or communities that you've tried to be a part of that you've been wounded by. And you are still carrying those wounds, actually. Oh, beautiful cards. But in the process of being wounded, hold on, let me just read your comments. I like that, Tree, saying that serious doesn't have to mean heavy, brutal. It doesn't. Ouch. Hurt myself. In the process of a confrontation with the Shadow Priestess, right, with either groups, communities, or a spiritual teacher, leader of some kind, that actually was quite painful for you, you realized yourself as Queen of Pentacles, right? It's like you were like, do you know what? I realized that you knew a lot less than I thought you did, and actually, I am a good authority on myself and my own journey. And I know, Virgo, this Queen of Pentacles is Virgo energy to me. Virgo is very discerning, right? Virgo is an energy of discernment, especially because archetypally, Virgo speaks to the harvest and to what's the word I'm looking for? Managing the harvest, or seeing what can be kept and what needs to be let go of. So Virgo sifts through the abundance of summer. And so naturally, this archetype is quite discerning. So what's happened is through these abuses, really, and I know this has happened to me, through that you have learned how to discern better, right? And you've come more into your own authority. I also feel like there's more balance for you. So you've got the wild card and the Four of Materials here, and I feel like you were taught a lesson but that lesson was about what your foundation needs to be. So again, I keep saying this, and I think this message is going to keep coming up for us. This is not a space of dependency. You don't give away your sovereignty, your self-direction, your sense of your own purpose. You don't substitute me or any other spiritual teacher for your own spiritual guidance team and your own ancestors. You don't do that. This can't be your true one and only source. Even for Camp 2, you should be thinking about this as it's leading you back to yourself, leading you, cultivating the skills that you need to get to spiritual mastery of your own. So that experience you had made you think, actually, what foundation do I have? Whenever I go into a situation or I'm seeking something from someone, how can I be aware of my own worth? And so what you're doing now is 8 of Pentacles, which is showing up with your 4 and receiving for more. Now, this is also about reciprocal community. And I always say this, like, give in the spaces you are nourished. So those of you, the fact that you're already here, you've already made even a financial commitment to this space and the growth of this space. And that is also what that reciprocal energy looks like. And it doesn't always have to be financial, but it does look like, and I can see there's 44 people at the moment, just went up to 45, but that 4-4 talking about that foundation, 4-4 and the 8 here. That doesn't have to be monetary, although monetary is always helpful. I don't want to like diminish money and act like that's not a resource that we need to use and circulate within our communities. But whatever it is, it's about your willingness to give what you have and be nourished in exchange, rather than coming as like a pauper, a spiritual pauper, and being like, I don't know anything. I'm not even worth anything. And if you could tell me something, I would be eternally grateful to you. No. You're not a pauper. And listen, I say this with caution, but you don't need anyone. And I'll put it like this. You don't need anyone specifically. You don't even need me. Okay? You don't need any one human being. You need commitment to your path and journey and the willingness to receive the help, the instruction, the guidance, and the adjustments by whichever means Spirit wants to give that to you. And you never need to latch onto any single source or any person but God itself. Like, outside of that, you have to have the attitude. Anyone can come and go, including Leonanicholeblack. Okay? Anyone. That's the attitude you have to have. Yes, Ari. My tweets about gospel music. All right. So because of that, here is what you do, right? You're at Queen of Pentacles, and in terms of your community, you go to Empress. Obviously, Empress settings right here. However, what it is that this is resonance. You know, this is resonance. Like, you resonate with the Empress energy here because you also see yourself as a quote unquote queen in your own right. And so the Empress already embodies what you are and more of what you want to be. So that's why you go to the Empress, because the Empress is a mastery of who you are and more. And that who you are is the key thing. They're not some big, great entity outside of yourself that you're like, oh, I'm so thankful that they're here to tell me something. All right. All right, all right, all right. So that was a part about the spiritual abuses that have happened. I didn't notice that this could come out. And just as I saw it, before I saw it, I read Grace's comment about showing you your tools, but the path is your own. And look at this card, right? There may be helpers or teachers that might get you over a difficult path, like might help you weather a storm. But listen, it is still yours. And ultimately, you go on. Some of you will outgrow and even mature out of this community, and that also is fine. No dependency here. Okay? And as a Virgo, I loathe dependency. Listen, I'm all about service. I love it, but let it be a choice, please. Right. So The other aspect of this message, I'm going to take this out because I feel like whatever's wrong with this charger is messing with my laptop battery. I also want to change my complete position. For some reason, I will change my legs. Oh, let's just do it. Feels better. All right, apparently the hips wanted to spread. Fine. The other aspect of this message is speaking to changes in the soul group. Pure Virgo truth. I'm telling you. Don't make a Virgo feel too needed. We don't like that. We have the Queen of Cups here, and we have the King of Wands. And this is speaking about, sorry, I need to push back. Hey, my loves, I need to push back the camera. So we have the Queen of Cups, which is speaking to our sense of connection, our desires to have our emotional needs met, emotional nurturance, and give an exchange in relationship with others. Hey, let's go. And we have the King of Wands, which is our personal power, how we leverage that power, our sense of boundaries, our ego even. And in this desire to have connection, community, love, friendship, and our own ego and our own boundaries and our own ambitions even, as we negotiate, let's say, our emotions and our ego together, we are coming up against Five of Swords again. Okay, so this Five of Swords is conflict, is separation. I like to refer to this card as irreconcilable differences. Okay, it's like, yo, it doesn't matter how much talking we do, we are going separate ways at the end of this. There's no conversation. There are no words that can be said here that is going to bring this back together at the end. We will be going separate ways. And this will be painful for some of you, myself included, because this will be with people who you were really enjoying, who you may have felt were part of your soul group, or you were, in terms of your day-to-day life. With the Nine of Cups, I like to think about this as a kind of what happens on the routine level. So this can be like people who were part of that routine sense of connection and commitment and love and friendship and fruition. And this is like literal mix up in the soul group. Sorry, this whole top, I have no idea why I have it on. This top is a whole mess. I'm just hitch up and all over the place. Anyway, this aspect is going to be like lots of changeable energy, and it is going to feel uncomfortable. And I'm going to get some more messages on that for us. I feel like I should get some animal messages. Grace said no house training. All right. I like this deck, but it's always really sticky. It makes it a little hard to shuffle. The finish of the cards not that great. And of course, if you didn't get this message from the very beginning, it will be posted in the Tarot Therapy playlist, so you can watch the beginning, or just keep watching it back as many times as you need to. Oh, swan on the deck cut there. All right. What do you want to say to us, Spirit, about the changes in the soul group? Okay. Let's see what this animal deck is saying. Sometimes find this deck a little on the light side, as in LITE. I like that a lot, though, the last two cards here. Give me a second. I just want to understand the first two messages. Yeah. I want to clarify two of these, not with these cards, though. For some reason, that Rider-Waite deck's feeling a little heavy. I saged it earlier, too. And these two, for what cards, though? Okay. Yep. Yep. Yep, yeah, beautiful. All right, so here it goes. For this really applies to all of us. There's changes in the soul group. You pulled the swan too. The changes in the soul group here. We do have the Kingfisher. Be patient and focus. What I feel like is that this is going to threaten your focus in some way. That you have things happening for you, with spaces your energy should be at. Things you should be cultivating, working on. Many of you, like I said, that hermit energy is coming up where you're going to have to get kind of very focused and self-responsible and independent and disciplined. Those of you in camp 2 who kind of cultivating your spirit connection, your intuition more, you're going to need to be focused on that. And these changes, these emotional upheavals will risk you turning your attention and into drama. So you need to be focused. And the patience aspect of it, I also feel, is like patience with the resolution of these things, even if they can't be resolved in the ways that you want. You just can't. Don't push for a fixed solution or some kind of like wrapped up bow in the way of dealing with these things here, or these conflicts with people, or with no. For the most part, these separations are going to be a bit painful. I'm not even going to say that they're just going to like flow out of your life. They're not. With the B energy, you have spread heart healing with joy. Well, the B does not mean in this context and the way it's coming through for me, it's not spreading it to others. You've got the 2 of materials, right? So as you're going through these changes, these exits, these people coming and going, the transitions in your soul group, know that as people leave, remember your soul family is coming through, coming in too. So you need to, one, keep your heart open. And I was saying this to a friend. I have Taurus in the 11th house, and so I don't really, I'm a change averse when it comes to friendships. I'm super loyal and I like long lasting, secure commitments. And if I have disruption in friendship energy, especially, it can make me desire safety to the extent of feeling like, what is the point of friendship? I'm good by myself. And so this B is actually talking about, is even as I put to the B there, I could hear the word sting. It's talking about keeping our hearts open even when we're stung, right? It's like not allowing the changes to make us collapse in on ourselves or to erect walls here. So spread heart healing with joy to yourself is the message, because it is a change and a transformation, and there will be a growing and a waning, and you kind of have to hold yourself through that. Right. Then you get Grey Squirrel, find new ways of solving problems. So like I said, with that irreconcilable differences, some of you might want to keep having conversations or keep trying to talk things through. And listen, there's just nothing that can be said that's going to get you and this person back on the same page. And so this find new ways of solving problems energy, it came up with a Fool card, okay? You can't do what you've always been doing, and the tools that you already have are not going to work here. This feels like being willing to go it alone, even if it's only temporary. But I feel like if you try to fix everything right now, you will make it worse. There is a need to kind of let things be. You have news of voices. What I feel with this energy, this would be the equivalent of King of Swords. I feel like there will be an opportunity to come back to or revisit some of these conversations, some of these conflicts later, even if that's not in person. I don't think Sass is in the room today, but I know that she tweeted about having dreams of reconciliation conversations with people, and I feel like you will have some means of closing the rupture and the break. But with the King of Swords energy here, it's the judgment may take time to unfold. Like it might not be immediate, and you have to kind of be at peace with that. 9 of inspiration, some of you are going to want to lose ground in order to hold on to relationships. Don't do that. Because with this energy, it's this sense that kind of neither people really are seeing eye to eye, or no one feels at fault or thinks the other person is more wrong. Let's say that's what's going on here. And I feel like if you lose, this is about standing your ground here. If you don't honor your own need to hold your position and to heal, you will, well, let's see what will happen if you do that. Yeah. Whew, spirit, come through. This will be actually quite abusive to your inner child because it is a way of gaslighting yourself, right? It's going to cause you emotional confusion because you know the disruption and the discord that you feel. But in order to hold on to a certain kind of dynamical relationship, you'll give up your position in order to make peace, so to speak. And then you will, right? You'll be like, oh, great, six of inspiration. Things are moving forward. I feel like I'm back on track with this person. But eight of voices. You've actually trapped yourself and you've almost, I feel like this is a setback, eight energy. This feels like a setback in the cycle, like putting yourself back to the beginning of a lesson where you will have to go through more pain and more suffering to free yourself. Don't do it. And many of us, particularly if we're on this journey, we want to be cautious about our egos and we don't want to be out of hand and we don't want to be egotistical or ego driven. But the ego has a role. And I feel like even if you're, I'm saying this I'm saying this carefully, but even if you're wrong right now, I feel like there's even some value in being wrong. Like there's something for you to gain from whatever position you're in, even if you're in the wrong. It's like there's something that you have to sit with or be with or understand about where you are that cannot be remedied by simply capitulating. Okay, right, I have been seeing loads of comments but I haven't been reading them, so let me scroll up. Listen, Grace, I'm telling you that you have to show me how to be patient from my birth chart because I'm like, what patience? I don't know her. I'm doing my best though. Keeping the heart open is challenging. Listen, this reassessment of connections, this Taurus 11th house, I'm not interested. It's like, are you here or are you not? I'm not doing this in and out. Yes, Rose, about locking everybody off. Oh, I love that, Aisha. Leave her outside. This is I'm clicking. Don't look back. You can't. Oh no, Rose. No, 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 Rose. To your last comment. Yes, you will, Somalia. Even if you have to go through a period of time of isolation or being alone, which I know I definitely did, you will connect with deeply enriching soul fam. All right, we got a little bit more. Listen, folks, some of this energy is because of ego, right? You're soaring high. Some of you are experiencing success. Remember, you know, I reposted it last week because I felt like it's such a poignant message that you prepare a table for before me in the presence of my enemies. And remember, the enemy in this context isn't just someone who's literally against you, it is someone who's not whose path is divergent or perhaps is at a vantage point in their life where they cannot see or appreciate where you are and what's happening for you. So some of you are having elevation. Some of you, and listen, the thing about it is that, like I said, this is reward for work done. You have earned this. Spirit is blessing you because of what the path you have walked. And others are not feeling it. They don't like to see this shine. And that is some of the conflict that is coming up. Okay, but you need to, again, focus. Focus. And this is a year that was tough to focus in, but focus on where you are going. Okay, fly high, be above the fray. And then you got wolf. And I love what it says, because it says, be independent but work together, which is exactly the energy. And I think when I did when I first started this community and I did the cards, because I was like, I don't like marketing things. I hate selling things and saying, this is why you should do this. So when I did cards about what this community represented and why you should join, I know that the wolf card came up, right? We're talking about wolf pack, and I don't like to necessarily use the language of tribe, but wolf pack, and like belonging and that innate calling, right? Deep calls to deep, that innate calling that you are supposed to be here. If this reading is resonating with you, click the like button. So this is about, yes, being independent, as I said, following your path, following your instinctive, intuitive direction, and then also collaborating, being together. Last week, we talked about the sunflowers in the sun card and how when we all connect to our own source, then we are nourishing collectively, or nourished collectively. Hey, Sass, I was just mentioning you earlier about having dreams where you get to kind of work through energy and have kind of conversations of closure. Or let's say bringing things to completion or peace, because I know that closure is a bit of a convoluted or challenging term for many. All right, so that's our opening guidance. We didn't go too much on the distortion energy. I'll just check in and see if we need to address that any further. Might not need to. Nope. Nope. So basically, the message here is that there is spiritual interference. Like I said, there is the shadow high priestess. There's what's going on in the background that is attempting to block or at least create conditions that are not optimum for our spiritual growth. But really, the message I'm seeing right now is that it doesn't have to. It's not your business, right? With the Emperor card here, it's talking about this being taken care of on a higher spiritual level. Like this energy is being addressed, and don't make it your business if it's not your business. Is really what it's saying. The message is that be aware of it as you move. Nine of Wands and the Knight of Cups here. Be aware of it as you move through the world, as you pursue and go after what you're called to intuitively, but don't. Knight of Page of Pentacles. Don't, with the lack of skill and mastery, attempt to start involving yourself in fighting spiritual battles that are none of your business. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Whew. I keep knocking that thing. Hey folks that are just coming in, good to see you. Oh, nice, to the wolf case on the way. Have some water if you can, hydrate. All right. So you know what's next, folks? It is what's unconscious that needs to be made conscious. Feeling that we should that needs a time boundary. It feels like in the next week specifically. Cancer new moon approaching. I think I'm maybe Cancer energy is waning and they're getting really ready for raw Leo season. But I feel like I'm no longer going through the most emotionally. I don't know. Let's wait for the new moon anyway. Let me not talk too soon. I dropped a card that I need to get. And the card I dropped was Knight of Wands. I should really move this back because I really keep hitting the camera. There we go. I'm ready to be done with Cancer season. Cancer season is always a lot. Oh, it's direct opposite Saturn. Oh, Lord. Woo! Am I going to... What day is it? Is it Monday? Yeah, I think I should just stay inside and mind my business. I don't think I need to be outside on Monday. Listen, I'm going to be an honorary Leo since my name literally is Leona. And I'm lying, gang, so I intend to be getting my best life this Leo season. All right, Spirit. Yeah, Monday's just going to be a bit much. I am going to mind my business. Mind my emotional business. What's unconscious that needs to be made conscious? Do you know what? The two cards that flew out, I really feel like reflect the new moon energy, and I feel like it's a warning. It feels like difficult emotions incoming. We've got 2 8s here, 8 of Wands, 8 of Cups, but it feels like an influx of emotions that relate to abandonment, isolation, separation, having to go it alone, the relationships we've had to leave behind. And I feel like it feels forced in some way. Like even if we've made a choice, it feels like a forced choice. Like we had to make a choice to protect ourselves or to cut away certain things. It doesn't feel like an optimistic choice. It feels like our hands were forced, and it feels that this energy is coming in hot and fast. So if you can prepare for Monday to, you know, just get your affairs in order. But this is good though, because once we're through that wave of energy, we do go into King of Wands in the Fool card. Okay, to really moving into Leo season itself. With a clearer heart, it looks like. I'm free of entanglements, it feels like. It feels like we're cutting cords, like getting free. Also feels, which is great for Leo season, with the music here, it feels like dancing to the beat of our own drum, or like feeling more confident about going our own way or doing our own thing. Send you cake, yes, Grace. I'm preparing, and it's funny. I almost did the tarot clinic live on Monday, and I was like, oh, it's Cancer new moon. And I did divination, and they were like, no, don't do it on Monday. Now I see why. That is not good. That would not have been good for me. All right. Monday, I'm in bed too. I'm chilling. Still morning. All right. So let's get back to what's unconscious that needs to be made conscious now that we've had our Monday will be difficult message. And really not just Monday, really it's the days surrounding. Some of you seem to feel like the path ahead is hard, but it doesn't have to be. You're making it hard is the message. I see Spirit is here for a drag. Woo! Can you not? Even I feel dragged by this message. Like, fine. Woo, Lord. All right. So we have the Page of Wands with the 10 of Wands, right? And this is what they're saying. You are the page, and you're looking at the next steps, the next part of your journey, what's required of you, probably especially you group 1 people, because I said that you're going to be hermiting. And you're looking at it and you're like, it's going to be hard, it's going to be burdensome, it's going to be difficult. And you've already decided that it's going to be the most, and it's going to take the most. You have decided that based on the wounds and the quote unquote failures and the difficulties of the past. I feel like some of you, this is also why we need this new moon energy, because some of you are still walking around with the swords in your back, and that's why you feel like everything you do takes 10 million times the effort, because you are walking around bleeding. Everything is fine, this card is called, pretending that you're good. And sometimes it's not even pretending that you're good, but maybe you just don't know what to do with the swords. So you're like, well, I guess I just have to continue. And continuing with the swords in your back looks like this, right? Heavy. And you've decided, 10 of Cups and King of Swords, that getting to the future of connection and community and fruition and seeing, realizing the kind of society that we want to see, and familial healing and intergenerational clearances and whatever it is, you've decided that it's going to be so, so hard to get here, and it's going to be so, so far into the future. Some of you are saying to spirit that it's not now and it's going to take so, so long. I talked about this like when I was planning to do the PhD, and I was like, well, I don't have the finances, so I'll do it when I'm like 40 or 50. And spirit was like, you'll do it in 2 months. Okay. But in my mind, I was like, oh, it's going to be so far from now. And it's the same energy here. You deciding that things have to take long. And I said to you, this year particularly, the way the energy is set up is that things don't have to happen with the linear restrictions that we've been used to. That's a confirmation, actually, because I've just seen that message in the cards. But instead of seeing it, you need to, again, come back to the master of the feminine polarity. You have the Magician and the 9 of Cups. How many of you have learned, right, how to create and how to bring things into fruition by play? Through chilling, through enjoying yourself? Or are you of the belief still, as indoctrinated into you by capitalism, that everything must be hard and everything must be grind, and everything must have been, I worked and I did it, and do you know what I mean? And I didn't sleep, and I did, and if you ever knew what I went through, and now I've got it. Is that your belief? Or have you ever experienced what it is to relax and to play and to enjoy and to see things come into being, Magician energy, literally through that vibration? And for some of you, I'm talking about not just like things that relate to the emotions, I mean even practical things. There are times in spirit saying to me specifically, but I guess for all of us, but there will be 111 I just saw. There will be times when spirit will be like, don't look for anything in that situation. Don't look for that job, or don't look for that house, or don't try to organize your finances in this will. Don't apply for that thing. And I'm like, well, what should I do? And the answer is nothing. I'm like, nothing. Don't do anything. Take care of what you're supposed to. Rest, lie down, chill, have some fun, go see some people. And you're like, wow, how does this thing get solved if the ego, if I don't solve it, if I don't figure out a way to do something about it? How does it work out if I, as though we have the grand master plan? And this year really taught me, slash last year, really, both. The end of last year into this year really taught me what it was to play, to rest, and to see things come together. The image I had was literally like seeing trees bend to make a path for me. Like this is what you need to learn. This is the mastery. And that's also why part of this year has been a kind of sit down. And what happens if you can't force and push? And what happens if you can't direct your life by the means of success that you're used to? If you can't be out here doing those things, what does it look like to measure your time differently? And what becomes possible for you under those circumstances, and what I don't even want to just say opportunities, but what things come into your life through the highway of joy, right? Through the vibrational path of joy that you yourself did not piece together with your own hands. That's right, I start chilling and letting the energy come through. And most of you are still dealing with this energy, this old energy. You're still tied to it willingly, of I must fight and be competitive with others to get what I need. And spirit's like, no, over here. I keep hearing that scripture from Song of Solomon, like for everything there is a time and season. There's a time and season for everything under the sun. Remember what I said earlier? That spiritual mastery of knowing what season you are in. Some of you are fighting for what? What is in alignment will be in alignment. You get on the right path, you tune into the right dial, right? Like you put yourself where you should be and you allow what needs to come, and you take your instruction. If there is time for you to, put effort into something or get it done, you will be told. But when you're being told to sit down and chill the fuck out, do it. I'm saying to myself, because as a Virgo, especially with Mars and Virgo, give me 2 days to lie down and I'm done. Then I'm like, all right, what we doing? How can I be busy? I need like 2 days, and then I'm like, all right, come on, ideas, productivity. Hey, Kalechi. All right, so at this point, I'm gonna let you ask me questions. We're at the last 15 minutes of our session, so if you have questions about what we talked about today, feel free to ask them. I might not get to all your questions, but what I've been doing actually is copying and pasting the questions you ask that I don't answer now to answer in our tarot clinic live. All my life I had to fight. Yeah, no more of that. Okay, so I'll give you a chance to ask questions and then I'll pull guidance for the polarities. So the polarity messages, do you get your questions ready or ask them, type them when you're ready? I need to move my leg again. I don't even remember putting it down, but it needs to go back up. The polarity messages today actually feel more so about where the focus in your life is. So if you are in a season where you are being told to rest more, go with the flow more, if you don't feel like you can like exert yourself externally or push plans forward, you feel more that the flow of life is to chill out, go slower, maybe hermit more, maybe be more inward, then the divine feminine polarity messages for you. If you feel like actually you have a lot on your plate and you're having to show up more externally, and there is like life and spirit is demanding for you to show up, right, and to really hold that line, then the divine masculine energy messages for you. Grace said I need a reading, that's it. So those of you who are needing to go more with the flow and be more in divine feminine energy, you've got Queen of Cups. Okay, beautiful. More Cancer energy here. And you've got Nine of Swords, which is saying that if you refuse to get into the nurturing space, to take care of home, the home here being your own body, your own journey, your own temple, your own soul, care for, nurture self, slow down, be with yourself, top yourself up, replenish, play, and relax. If you refuse, you will force yourself into Nine of Swords and it will be of your own doing. You will have anxiety and stress and fear and worry and torment and sleepless nights, and nobody will help you out of it because you put yourself there, and you will be the only person who could take yourself out. Okay, do not sign up for this unnecessarily. It is about recognizing what is beyond your control right now, and so giving up that control to, it's the illusion of control. Okay, giving it up and tending to what is your business, which is you and your emotional well-being on many, many levels. Spirit already said to me this week that I need to mature emotion. I was like, again. Woo! All right. Grace, I'm laughing. And then for those of you more in the masculine, I don't think any of you posted any questions, right? No questions. Those of you more in the masculine energy where life is demanding a lot for you and you're having to show up significantly, you need to recognize the two. You got the Two of Wands. This is actually a planning and strategy stage for you. Opportunities and doors are opening up. There may be expansion coming. It is not here yet. And you need to see what doors are opening and prepare for them. Because actually, the devil card came up. So there are blocks and obstacles, and there is something in the way. And again, coming back to that protection message, I said to you, the spiritual spirits are a little chaotic right now, and you do need to stay out of them. So it is about staying within that boundary of protection, just like this person here, looking out, seeing what doors are open, and assessing your opportunities. Don't move out of your boundary of protection. It's not really, it doesn't seem to me anyway, obviously go with your own intuition, it doesn't seem to me like a season of action or a period of action for you yet. It is more strategy and planning. And you have enough where you are, Nine of Pentacles. So any expansion right now might be driven by greed, because you're actually solid. And there are visions. Yes, there are new spaces for you to move into. It especially feels like spaces of leadership. So therefore, allow the preparation time and the alignment to happen. But wait, because if you decide of your own volition that you're going to go ahead and just get things done, you will find yourself trapped in very uncomfortable ways. And I feel like it will take a lot of digging and a long time to get you out of it. I also do feel that this does relate to the Saturn transit, and particularly the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And I feel like some of this kind of hold on or wait energy, or at least the need to be very conscious of timing, will continue until the end of September, when Saturn goes direct again. So listen, you cannot force it. This was not a year that we got to, and it's interesting because whether we call it a 4 year, a Mars year, an Ogun year, our expectations of what the energy would look like just did not pan out in the ways that we thought. And it has not been a kind of go, 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 go. It has been a kind of burning down and a destruction. Okay, and there has been a lot of spiritual warfare. But for us, we've really had to sit down. Okay, we really have to take the back seat and allow the spirits to step up and get things done. So be conscious of time. Now, I'm not saying to all of you things can't be done until October, but I'm saying this need to pay very close attention to the time and season will be significant, especially as long as Saturn is retrograde. All right. Stormy has entered the chat. I'm telling you, listen, this patience course that Spirit has put me on. It seems like a lifelong course as well. I don't love it. I really don't love it. All right. Unless there are questions, which it doesn't seem there are, I'm going to do just some closing guidance, because it doesn't feel right to just lock off the the tarot therapy like that. So let's wind down the energy with Thanksgiving. All of you should give thanks to Spirit, to your ancestors right now. You got a new animal. Yeah, you got a lion. Also ask that these messages be well integrated for you throughout the week. I did say, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, that for the last week of tarot therapy, like so every, say, 4th week of the month, that week will be more kind of like review, looking back at the messages of the previous weeks, kind of talking about them, maybe looking at the astrology a bit, because I feel like we get a lot coming through every week, and if we never have a moment to fully digest and integrate, like it's going to waste in some ways. Okay, Spirit, so with gratitude and thanksgiving, we would like to close this energy down. Okay. What's our closing message? It feels like Spirit has a lot to say to us, that some of this is none of our business. Up to 1 or 2 years ago, who would have thought we would have these spaces? Thank you, Leona, for holding the community. My pleasure, Grace. Thank you so much for being with us and for inspiring and teaching and encouraging me too. I feel like I was saying to a friend that I watch a lot of reality TV. I enjoy it and I learn a lot from it. And I was watching one particular show. It's not that good, Love and Listings, but I'll watch it anyway. And I was like, Spirit, I hear you, because it was very much like, don't be taking pills for somebody else's headache. That one episode, that last episode of Love and Listings, people were the passive of it all. People were fully involved in things that's absolutely nothing to do with them. People are getting punched down over issues that did not concern them at all. I'm like, imagine you're punched to the floor for something that is not your own business. Anyway, I said, Spirit, I hear you. You said stay out of what is not your business. Okay, fine. Okay, and here it is. This is actually the message of the Two of Swords. Some of what is going on right now is Spirit's business. It is not yours. Okay, stay out of the spiritual business. Mind your business is what Spirit is saying. Some of you are very curious. You want to know what's happening. Mind your business. Mind the business that is yours. Okay. There is lots for you to take pleasure in. I like because the Six of Cups is often, Scorpio energy and can refer to sexual pleasure, especially. Some of you are so idle. It's better for you to, if what you need is is orgasm and pleasure, to mind your business and have that. But mind the business that is your own, your body, your pleasure. Okay, the things that gives you joy, release, connection. Mind that business. That's your business. It is not for you to be the journalist, asking, okay, trying to get to the bottom of things that do not concern you. Okay, and Spirit is like, you should especially mind your business because I have prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies. I've given you so much good blessings and lovely things for you to enjoy. What is the reason you are turning your eyes elsewhere? It's not to do with you. That, my dears, is our closing guidance. Mind your business. Anyway, I've truly been minding mine. I'm too tired, to be honest. I can barely reply to WhatsApp messages. I certainly am not minding anybody else's business. Yes, Nicole, Ari, soul family changes. That energy probably is going to continue to come up over the weeks. I don't know if you're in Tarot Clinic or not. We can pick up on that some more in Tarot Clinic and talk about that. But if not, even so, I think that message will continue to come up. Oh no, Bookie, I love me some reality TV. I watch all of it. All of them. Kalechi says you keep researching and trying to get ahead of the curve. Me too. Even to be honest, there's an aspect of like needing to mind your business, but that includes for those of us who are divine, right? And those of us who function in the high priestess role. Some of this stuff is also not our business. It's not for us to be pulling cards or tuning in. Or some of this stuff, mind your business, and stop asking spirit. Oh, it has been a pleasure to be here today, beloveds. Thursday. So I will see some of you, Mr. World Premier Gang. You know it. You know it. I will see some of you on Saturday evening, probably 8:30 p.m. For our Tarot Clinic hangout to do your personal readings. I don't even know how many of you are going to show up, so we'll see. That's it. Yeah, orcas, then lions, then dolphins, and then I think I decided what the next animal was going to be the other day, but I can't remember. I will see. I should add it. You're welcome, beloveds. Welcome to all of you who are new here, all the Orca fam. If you don't know me that well, listen, I'm in love with orcas. Like, those are my people, those are my beings. I adore them. I also watched Deep Blue Sea 2 last night. I love I like dystopian disaster movies, survival stuff. And if it's survival from shark attacks and stuff in the water, I'm totally into it. You're welcome. Thank you, Remy. So much love to you. Thank you all for being here. I see the yellow hearts. Woo. Appreciating the love. All right, we're at that 1 hour, 30-minute mark. Peace out. I love you all.